Okay, we're back again. Another episode of the Lonely Stoner podcast. I'm Seth.
And I'm Evan.
We're back with episode 37. It's been a long time since episode 36, to be fair.
Yeah, I think, what was it, about a month and a bit ago?
Yeah,
Or,
crazy.
like early mid-August.
Yeah.
The last podcast came out, and now
Yeah.
we're September 17th.
Crazy.
Bit of a sabbatical, but we're back regardless. We're back.
And the content's been flowing regardless.
Yeah.
Loads of side quests
out,
for you guys to be watching. And you have been. Number of vids now, over 100 views. Number over 200. Just had another one hit 300. So we're doing all right. We're getting some momentum there.
We appreciate the love.
No, exactly. Got to. And I appreciate the comments as well. Some good conversations.
We always encourage some comments because it's good. It's good for engagement, but we also like engaging with people that watch the videos, you know.
No, definitely. And I've had a lot of debates in the comments about anything from boxing to the future of the world in terms of some of my political and economic videos. So it's always fun. But most recently, I guess we'll start off with the event we was at this weekend.
Yeah, we were at York Hall on the weekend of September 13th to watch Boxmania 13, Goodwin Boxing. A fairly local-ish event.
Yeah.
No names that would spring to your mind straight away, but a couple of fights with some decent implications on the line. And of course, we had a couple of debuts, a couple of low-level fights, but overall enjoyable. So we'll start with, we didn't see the first bout, which I can see here is Cara versus Chapman, so we can't really talk about that, but we did see part of Murga versus Gomez. I can't even remember who won that, so I think it was the British guy. Murga.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
But I think we came in about round 2 or round 3 of that fight, so we didn't really see too much of that.
No.
But I do remember this one, Cillian Mills versus Granum. I think that was a 4-rounder.
Yeah, the 4-rounder, where Mills boxed very well. He was the only one, didn't he?
Yeah, he was making his professional debut.
Yes. Yeah. Had some big support there, which is, of course, so important at this level of boxing to be able to get fans and to sell tickets. It's an important part of the game.
In a place like York Hall as well, you know, where you don't even have to have loads of people there chanting your name for it to really be effective. It's such a small hall, and even we were walking around, we were doing our thing because obviously we were exclusive press media there. We were there as press. Got in for free, which you always love to see. Shout out Steve Goodwin because he sorted us right out. Yeah,
shout out Steve Goodwin and Goodwin Boxing and all the guys from there. They've got a good behind the scenes team as well that we were liaising with to get the media passes. Shout out to them, and hopefully we'll be back there again soon for the next Goodwin Boxing event.
Yeah, it was a great event.
And like I say, on the whole for this entire card, this fight, but a lot of the fights on here were very competitive. They were very close, apart from one or two. But it was very evenly matched. Like I said, they were all competitive fights, and that's what really made the event so exciting for me. It was you going in there, and because you don't really know the level of each guy, really. Until they sort of reach those next levels,
you don't really know. Because at this level, they're all sort of in the same sort of area as each other. Once you get to the higher levels, you see the clear differences in skill.
That's what I'm saying.
At this level, like you said, majority of the fights were fairly competitive.
Yeah, especially you got a guy making his pro debut and he was able to sell some tickets. Big win, impressive win.
Yeah, the guy, obviously we had Mills versus Granum, 2 British guys, 2 black British guys.
Come on.
I think it was fairly obvious that Mills was set up to win. However, it wasn't easy for him because Granum was throwing power back.
Yeah.
A lot of the time he was just shelling up, taking a lot of shots on the block.
Yeah.
And obviously Cillian Mills doesn't have the experience to maybe move around as much or find shots around the guard. But he definitely was more active, was bigger, was a big dude.
Yeah.
And he was able to put it on Granum throughout those 4 rounds, be more active, land more. Like I said, not that Granum didn't give him any danger because he was throwing some power back at him. I think it was clear that, Granum was kind of a lamb to slaughter here, and Mills was supposed to win this fight, but you still have to win it.
Got to.
And it was impressive. He's a big guy. We'll have to watch out for him.
Yeah, so hopefully he can go on to have an interesting career. I think he will be because, like we said, you could tell he's not got a ton of experience. I don't know what his amateur career was like, but as a pro, he's certainly not got that experience. Literally, he's just turned pro. But there's definitely a skeleton of an interesting fighter there.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, if he can continue to use his size, develop that boxing IQ, and start to learn how to find those shots behind the guard, around the guard, we'll see what level he gets to. What weight division was that?
I think that's middleweight.
Middleweight, yeah.
I think it was middleweight.
So Who knows? At the high end, at middleweight, there's some money fights. Sorry, there's some money fights, but
It
let's
was
see.
only his debut, so we'll assume we'd probably keep seeing him on similar cards like this.
Yeah,
The
hopefully.
York halls, the
Yeah,
small halls, building his way up, maybe to 7, 8, 9-0 if he can, and
yeah,
maybe get a fight against somebody that you might have heard of.
yeah.
But it was a good fight. It was enjoyable. It wasn't as competitive as some of the other ones,
No,
but it was still decently competitive.
yeah,
But quite a fairly standard win for
yeah.
Cillian Mills. And we'll move on to Gardner versus Sanchez. This was the guy, was it Mean Dean
What a
Gardner?
fight, man!
Had some really good support in there too.
Yeah,
This was a great fight. This was a really good fight because the other guy, Sanchez, like imagine a fresh off the boat, dirty little Mexican. And that is exactly what he looked like. Like I doubt the guy could speak English.
bro. Shout out to you, Sanchez, bro. Like
he was warzing. They were warzing, man.
Bro, shout out to you, Sanchez.
They were
bro.
fucking warzing. This was a 6-round bout, and Mean Dean Gardner, his style was essentially he's trying to get you in the corner as much as he possibly can. He's not even getting you in the corner with punches. He's using his movement and body physicality to really get you in that corner, which was what he was trying to do the entire fight. And he's ripping constant body shots, ripping 6, 7, 8 punch combinations in the corner.
Yeah.
And what Sanchez was trying to do was essentially just trying to find this slip uppercut the entire fight. He kept trying to find, because he was a southpaw as well.
Yeah.
So that was giving a Mean Dean a couple of issues. But the way Dean was fighting, it doesn't really matter what stance you are because he's just pushing you right back into the corner anyway. Yeah. But it was clear that Sanchez was trying to find that slip uppercut to knock him out the entire time because he was allowing himself to be backed up, and similar to Granham was blocking a lot, taking a lot of shots on the guard, eating a lot of body shots. It was a great fight, man. They both took some big shots. There was a lot of support for Mean Dean Gardner in York Hall. Yeah. And it was a really, really exciting fight. I really enjoyed it. And of course, Gardner took the win on points. What was your thoughts on it?
I love this fight. Like you said, it did really feel like Sanchez was a lamb to the slaughter coming into this. As you can see on the card, he's not even got a picture on the card, right? But he comes in here with next to no expectations, next to no fanfare. You know, ultimately, no one was really there for Sanchez, right? But he goes out there and he doesn't just, at the first opportunity, just give up. Once he feels the power, he doesn't just take it in fact, this is it. I'm good, I'll take the payday and move on, right? He's in there for all 6 rounds. This was a 6-rounder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was in there for all 6 rounds. Competitive. He kept the fight competitive by, like you said, shooting for that uppercut, which logically, from a boxing IQ point, was a punch that was always going to be there because Gardner, he's trying to get low, he's trying to apply that pressure and get up inside you. Pause.
Pause.
So that uppercut's going to be there, right? Especially him being a southpaw makes it even trickier. But Mean Dean Gardner, for the most part, apart from one time when he sort of got rocked by Sanchez, he was able to control it. And that's something that when you're seeing these guys boxing, what you want to see is, you want to see the knockouts, you want to see all these things, but really what you want to see is control and boxing IQ. Because it's boxing. There's going to be times when you get hit. It's going to happen. But are you in control when those times happen?
And that's exactly what he was able to do.
He was able to do.
Be in control 90% of the fight, kept on the front foot the entire time, refused to back up. Yeah. You know, it was a really, really enjoyable fight for me. It was probably, other than the co-main event, which I think we'll get to, it was probably my most enjoyed fight. Because it was like not, like Mean Dean did win, but it wasn't wildly different in terms of their skill set. Like Sanchez did rock him at one point. He was landing some nice shots. He was looking for that. It was clear he was looking for that knockout shot. Yeah. And he wasn't really trying to win on points. But Mean Dean, like, hell of a chin on him, was able to take those shots. Really, really great fight. Really enjoyable fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess we'll move on to, I think that was Giorgio Isila versus your mate, Preston.
That's my doggy, bro.
This was the least competitive fight on the card. I think Preston got dropped to his knee twice, 2 or 3 times.
I think it was 3.
It was twice, and then when he went down the third time, that's when they stopped it. But it was a pretty much all up like IQ pressure from Giorgio there. Yeah. He was finding his shots really nicely, and again, similar to Sanchez and similar to Granham, he did seem like a lamb to slaughter, where he was brought in specifically to lose to guys. But I would say that this guy Giorgio, he looked like the best boxer on the entire card. The way he was ripping his shots, the way he was finding his openings. Obviously, the guy he was fighting didn't really look good at all. Yeah. But I think he's 8-0 or 9-0. This Giorgio.
Like that. Yeah.
He did look really good, and he it was quite easy for him.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Giorgio put on a really good performance here. Had a big fan base with him. Again, it's important, and you can really tell the difference between the guys that the way they box when they've got the fan base there and when they don't. You just feel like you're the automatic A side in the fight, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're going out there, you're applying pressure, you're ripping your shots, and technically, like you said, in terms of technical boxing, guy's probably the highest level on the card, is what it felt like. Of course, the main event and the co-main has got more title implications, but if we're talking just the technical levels of boxing, I was really impressed with what I saw from Giorgio here. And one big thing that you want to see from real prospects is that when they have a guy in trouble, they don't just see red and start headhunting. They need to maintain the ability to continue to switch up from the body and head.
Staying in the moment,
relaxed, hit body, hit the head, and get this guy out of there. It's not like you just rock him, okay, this is the chance I've got, and you just start unloading punches, because the reality is, not so much with Preston, but a lot of these journeymen, they're trained in how to survive. So if you're out there, blowing your wad in a 6-round fight in the third round, come the 4th, 5th, and 6th against these journeymen, you're going to be in trouble, right? So, but credit to Giorgio, who's capable of doing that, and he got Preston out of there. Rocked him a couple of times, he was just landing, doing the cleaner work, and just putting the pressure on Preston, and got him out of there.
Yeah, it was a fairly elementary victory for Giorgio.
Yeah.
It was clear he was meant to win. He put it on Preston the entire fight, landed big shots, knocked him down 3 times, went with body shots. I think they were all with body shots.
Yeah.
And he dropped to his knee. And after that fight ended, the main man, Preston, he walked right past us where we were standing. And the main man, Seth, here gave him a little fist bump as he walked past. Guy just got the absolute shit beat out of him. And you're just giving him a fist bump.
Got to, bro. Got to show love, bro.
I didn't even realise it was him who walked past us until he was already gone. Like, in the corner of my eye, I see someone coming, so I'm like, all right, let me give them a bit of room to go.
For real. Yeah.
I go, and then I just see you put your hand up to spot. I'm like, who's this guy that he's spotting? And I look up, and it's just the geezer who just got the shit beat out of him, just walking past. And like, I don't know where man was going, because he was the only boxer that walked past us that entire night. But I don't know. I think he just walked out the front door, like in his shorts and gloves. I don't know what man was doing. I think man just walked out the front door in his boxing gear.
And just goes backstage, collects his check, and just walks out.
He's like, I'm gone. I came here to do my job, and it got done.
For real.
No, but that fight was enjoyable in a different sense, because it was just a really impressive performance from Giorgio.
Yes, yeah.
But again, another guy, like you said, he had so much support that it felt like that gave him a boost.
Yeah.
And that goes to show how important having the crowd behind you is.
Straight up.
Even though I think he's British Romanian.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Because the other guy was British, but the other guy was shit, so he wouldn't have support anyway.
No.
He was just...
Allow it, bro. Out of Preston.
Yeah, it was like, that balding brother that Ilya Topuria knocked out on his come-up, like, with that dirt. Like, it's like him, like, he's just... You look at the guy, and you look at the guy's fight, and you're like, well, it's obvious who's meant to win.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need to know anything about either of them.
Yeah, I hear it.
But no, it was another, like I said, my first boxing event that I've ever been to, so... Yeah. I was enjoying it, even if they were close fights or weren't that exciting. I was still enjoying it.
They were all pretty good, though.
They were all pretty good fights.
They were all pretty good.
Like, none of them were just standing there looking at each other.
Bro, that's at this level, though, that's boxing, G. These men, like Hatim Liam, they can't afford to lose, G.
Yeah, facts. They were going at it, which was really great. But I guess we'll move on to the co-main event now, which was, I think, Joey Bartel versus someone called Adeyemo for the Commonwealth Youth title. I think this was middleweight as well, or super middleweight.
Middleweight. This was
middleweight.
Believe.
I think Adeyemo was 16-0 coming into this. It doesn't say the weight.
I think was he 16-0 or 16-1? I think it was like 16-1.
16-1, okay. Yeah. And the other guy, Bartel, was like 8-1.
Yeah,
9-1.
Yeah.
But this was another really good fight.
Yeah.
Because it started off decently competitive. Because I think Adeyemo had like a clear sort of initial physicality advantage.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he had a touch of a reach and height advantage.
Oh, definitely.
Well.
Yeah.
And he was using that to his advantage. But as the rounds went on and Bartel was kept applying the pressure, because the announcer said before the fight, as he was announcing him, one of the most exciting boxers in Britain, Joey Bartel. Yeah. And he really showed why they call him that. Because he was just putting it on him the whole time, but not the way Mean Dean was putting it on Sanchez, because Mean Dean was using his like movement to back him up, and he was ripping these body shots, and it was different. The way Bartel was doing it was head combinations, like trying to catch him, and he caught him badly really a few times. But I'll let you sort of take this one on. Yeah, so like you said, going into this fight, Bartel was announced as one of the most exciting fighters in Britain, and we found out firsthand why you'd call him that. Like you said, the start of the fight was pretty competitive. Adeyemo, is it? Yeah. Adeyemo. He
definitely had the height and reach advantage and used it well. To be fair to him, used it well. Used that jab, was doubling up on the double jab, mixing it to the body as well, keeping Bartel honest, particularly early on. But I think Bartel, once he realised that Eddie Yemo's not got crazy power, you can't put him out like that. He started to apply the pressure a bit more.
And this was 10 rounds, I think.
This is a 10-round Commonwealth youth title fight. So, like I said, back into this fight, Bartel starts to put the pressure on a bit more and he's landing some big shots, and you can tell they're really affecting his opponent. And then by the end, I'm not really sure why they ended it.
Yeah, it seemed like the guy might have had somewhat of a leg injury or something. Like, that's kind of what, because he was holding his leg and touching his leg, so maybe that's what happened. But regardless, Bartel was putting it on him. Yeah, he was putting it on him.
And he was taking a bit of a beating, to be fair. He was taking a bit of a beating. It looked like you said, when he sat down, it looked like it might have been a leg problem, but I think he was just getting battered.
He was just done, because he did drop to a knee and he went to get back up, and the ref sort of just said, "No, you're done."
Yeah.
I think he kind of knew that mentally, Adeyemo wasn't there anymore, and the ref sort of stepped in and saved him.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
he was losing the fight.
There's no point in this carrying on. And
I can't remember what round it was. It was stopped. I want to say it was like 6 or 7.
Yeah, something like that.
Like maybe 8 around there.
Yeah.
Because even then, when you're there, it was really hard to keep track of what round it was, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, it is still.
Usually when you're watching boxing, it says
that's what I'm saying,
round 2 of 12, round 3 of 12.
It's different live.
And the rounds felt so much longer than they do when you're watching them as well.
Yeah.
Like, it were 3-minute rounds, but they felt like they were 5 or 6 minutes.
Do you reckon?
Like, I don't know if that's just because it's my first time at a boxing event and my view is a bit warped, but like, it was a good fight though. Like, Bartel put it on him, won the fight. Might have even been a little bit of an underdog coming into this because the guy seemed like physically bigger, had a slightly better record.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's the good thing about the Commonwealth titles, because as a fighter, it sort of broadens your horizons more than just being a British level fighter. Yeah, out of the Commonwealth countries, Britain probably does have the best boxers, but these countries, like, I think he's Nigerian, they're Commonwealth countries as well. So, like I said, he was 16-1 going into this fight. You know, that's a pretty good record, but you don't know the level yet.
Exactly.
You don't know the level of his
opponents. The record doesn't just specifically tell you somebody's level. Somebody can have a very good record, and someone can have a mid record, and the guy with the mid record would be better. Like we saw in this fight, the guy with what would appear to be a worse record was, evidently maybe not the better technical boxer, but definitely a better game planner and definitely a better 10-round fighter. Yeah,
definitely. And then what won that fight, and Bartel, I believe, is the new Commonwealth Youth Middleweight Champion.
Yeah, I believe that title was vacant.
It was a vacant belt before. So, to be honest, we'll see what's next for him. I don't imagine he'll be going from a Commonwealth Youth title to... I mean, maybe he would be going to the next level, would be fighting for those Commonwealth titles, perhaps. Because at that point, what his record's 9-1. If he wins another fight, it's 10-1, then maybe he's looking at a Commonwealth title fight. And then from there, European level... Then you're starting to look at world level. So who knows how far Joe Bartel can do it. The thing is, when you see guys like this, and you see these types of styles, you think he's hittable.
Yeah.
He's not.
You'd think a guy with a similar sort of mentality to him, who's a better boxer, would pick him apart.
Yeah.
And find really nice counter shots.
So it'll be interesting to see what sort of level we see Bartel get to. Hopefully, as a guy who we saw fight live at the York Hall and knows he can put on really entertaining fights, hopefully he can go far in the sport. But winning the Commonwealth Youth belt is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's nothing to underestimate. You have to win it. You have to be in a position to be in that fight. So
that's it.
Yeah, another really, really good fight, really enjoyable fight, another finish as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good. I guess we'll move on to the main event now.
Yeah.
Which was a bantamweight Commonwealth title final eliminator.
Lightweight.
Lightweight. Yeah. No, I thought bantamweight because it's 135, isn't it?
Yes.
That's why I'm thinking it's bantamweight.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we had Hatim versus Dillon. Our guy Dillon. I'm not going to say why Dillon is our guy.
Yeah.
That would have bait us out.
Yeah, for real.
Dillon, it was our guy, but we weren't really expecting him to win. I think Hatim was 11-0 or something, and Dillon was 15-3.
Yeah.
So it was probably quite clear who was supposed to win.
You say that, but Dillon's a guy who he's a former English champ, former British champ, former Commonwealth champ.
That's nothing to...
So...
That's serious.
Do you know what I mean? You sort of think of it like, he's a former Commonwealth champ who's now fighting in a title eliminator. He's been at that level.
I can see why he was able to put it on guys, though, the way he fights. Obviously, before we get into the fight itself, I want to say that Hatim, Captain Cringe, man. This guy coming out spitting Eminem. Like, this guy has a microphone in his hand
Yeah.
before his fight and he's spitting Eminem bars.
This wasn't Hatim himself doing this.
Oh, was it not?
No, 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 no,
Oh, I
no,
thought
no.
it was him.
No, it wasn't him. No, it was like a performer.
Oh, I thought it was him. Are you sure it wasn't him?
No, it's not him. It was like this guy in like a black hoodie who was doing it.
Oh, no, I thought it was him.
No, 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 it wasn't Hatim.
Oh, it's cringe either way, though.
Oh no, it definitely is. It definitely is. It wasn't Hatim himself doing this.
Oh, I just assumed it was.
I don't know if it was his cousin or something. I don't know who it was. Right. But Hatim, don't. As a boxing fan to a boxer, bro, probably don't do that again.
Yeah, no,
probably don't have a guy do that again. But shout out to you,
whoever you are.
Shout out to you, bro.
Spitting Eminem
Trying
bars.
to come onto the pod and we'll analyze your performance. But yeah, Tim, how did the fight go? What did you think of this fight?
You know what?
Well, actually, sorry. Before we get into it, like I said, Dillon is a former English, British, and Commonwealth champion. Hatim just won the Southern Area lightweight title that was vacant and defended it once. He's vacated it now to fight for this British and Commonwealth title eliminator.
Yeah, you can see why Dillon has had the success he has because he's a marauder.
Yeah.
Like, the guy he really has his hands off. He's just marching forwards, like he's throwing these wild shots. But the difference is he's not gassing out in 5 or 6 rounds. He's able to do that for 12 rounds while holding dirty body shots the entire fight. Yeah. 12th round, he's still dirty cut on his eye, has held so many naughty body shots, and he's still coming forward throwing these wild, powerful shots. Like, not powerful because he didn't really have any power.
No.
But the way he was able to, like, literally be a marauder, like, I can see why he's had the success he has, because certain guys, that will be too much for them and that will be completely overwhelming. Yeah. But his fight style, I can see why it's had success, but I also see why, talking about the fight itself now, Hatim was able to beat him on points in 12 rounds. Yeah. Because Hatim was, although he was taller with a longer reach, he wasn't really using it as much as maybe he should have. Yeah. Because it felt like a lot of the fight did happen on the inside. But Hatim was able to be way more defensively responsible, was able to land way more. And I wouldn't necessarily say he was the more active boxer, but I would just say he was a more efficient boxer. Yeah. He was able to use his speed, use his technical boxing skills. Because technically, it seems like he was a lot better than Dillon. Yes. But in terms of maybe IQ and ring generalship, he isn't at the level of what you might like to see. Yeah. But what did you think about the fight? It was a great fight as well, by the way.
Yeah, largely I agree with everything you said. It was a really enjoyable fight. Very competitive, even though I think consistently throughout the fight, Hatim was doing the more eye-catching work. His punches were cleaner, they were more crisp. Dillon's, of course, he's applying the pressure, so you're going to be favouring him because of that. But his work wasn't particularly efficient. Hatim was able to move at times. I would have liked to see him move a bit more, to be honest. And guys who are at a high level at 135 who do move a bit more have beaten Dillon and would beat him if he was to fight there at that sort of level again. So that's something that Hatim could have improved on, is using that footwork to stay evasive. Because there were shots that he probably didn't need to be getting hit with, that he was getting hit with.
Yeah, on the inside as well, where he was clearly like the much taller, lengthier guy.
And that's Dillon's game. That's Dillon's whole game. That's his game his entire career. Is apply that pressure and fight inside and be a warrior, throw those shots, right? So you're just playing into his game. I've got a question though. Hatim was going to the body a lot, right? And there were clean shots, big shots, clean shots, but Dillon never really slowed down. No. So when that happens and you're in a fight like that, do you think it's almost not even worth me doing that and I could just focus my attention entirely on the head?
It depends, right? Because I feel like if you're confident you can finish somebody and you see that the body shots are clearly having no effect, so you want to go to the head, then it probably makes sense. But if you're looking at a guy like Dillon and you think, okay, I probably don't have the power to be able to finish him, regardless of if I'm headhunting or landing body shots, then I guess it doesn't really matter, innit? You don't want to be a headhunter if you're not going to finish him, because then you make yourself more predictable. Yeah. Especially a guy like Dillon who was able to duck under quite a few of those headshots and then find inside lanes that way. But it all depends on who you are, really. But I would say that shouldn't discourage you from throwing body shots. I know he's not slowing down at all, but it still shouldn't discourage you because you want to mix up your work. You want to be less predictable.
Yeah, if not for anything else, like I said, purely because of that, to be less predictable and just give him as many different looks as he can. Because as much as it's maybe not slowing him down, it does stylistically have an effect on him. because no one wants to be just getting hit and clean for the sake of it.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's going to lower those hands a bit more. And it did, I think. Throughout the course of the fight, it did. Even if it didn't slow Dillon down, it did lower his hands and make those headshots come about a bit easier, picking up why the team won those later rounds, because the cleaner work.
I think it was clear that neither of these guys really had any real power, especially by their. I think they had a combined of like around 20-something wins, and between them probably had like 4 or 5 knockout wins.
Yeah.
So it was clear that neither guy really had any real finishing power.
Yeah.
So it was. I think I even said to you before the fight that this is definitely going to the points because they both seem like Dillon is very tough and Hatim is probably too good compared to Dillon to get finished.
Yeah.
So it was probably quite predictable that it would go to points, but it was still a very, very good fight.
Yeah, a war.
A lot of people might have thought that Hatim was going to make much easier work of it, but Dillon was there the entire time. Yeah. Didn't get discouraged at any point during the fight. Yeah. Kept coming forward, kept trying to land those big shots, even if he doesn't have that much power. Kept trying to land. And a lot of those rounds were very competitive.
Yeah.
And even I think after the fight, the scorecards were quite wide, like they had it as quite a big win for Hatim. A couple of guys came past us and said those scorecards are ridiculous. That fight was way closer than that, which it probably was, to be fair. But I guess when you're looking at sort of the cleaner work that Hatim's doing, it's kind of hard to give Dillon that many rounds, even if he is landing some nice work.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, another really enjoyable fight. There was not really any fight on this card that wasn't enjoyable.
No.
And especially York Hall as well, the atmosphere there. Yeah. You don't have to have that many people there for it to be a really amazing atmosphere, and it was. Yeah. And of course, every view is a great view at York Hall.
That's it, man.
You're a few feet away from the ring wherever you are.
Shout out to Goodwin Boxing for this one. This was a great event.
Yeah, they showed us a great time.
Yeah.
Didn't take long for us to get in at all. Queued up for a couple of minutes, got in, told them our names, gave us our wristbands, straight in.
Easy.
So, although, we probably would have liked to do a bit more in terms of journalistic content, but it was our first time trying to do that. We couldn't find anyone after the event.
No, so it feels like because of the nature of the small hall events, it's just one fight after the other, literally.
Yeah.
So if we went to one of them like straight after their fight into their dressing room, we would have missed the next fight.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I mean, low-key, if we could continue doing it like this, where we go to the event and then talk about it after, I wouldn't mind that.
No, that's still worth it.
Obviously, getting interviews would be great. But there's always time, we could shout the fighters individually and ask them for interviews. Yeah. And that might even be even better.
Yeah, no, literally, because when I was looking on their Instagram, I believe, on Steve Goodwin's or Goodwin Boxing Instagram, he was posting like a post after every fight, and he was putting their ads there.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why we couldn't, like, beforehand, message them. I got to go downstairs.
Okay.
So hold it up.
Yeah. So like everyone was saying, exactly, there's no reason why we couldn't just shout them beforehand. I mean, low-key, you could shout them after the fight as well. And just say, we was at the event. If you'd like to chat with us, we'll be down having you on the channel. We've got 180 something subs. We're out here. That'd be great too. So that's basically what everyone was trying to say with this. But overall, this Steve Goodwin boxing card was great. Boxmania 13 at the York Hall. We had a great time. We were treated great by security, by the reception, who gave us our media passes. So it was a real pleasure. Also treated great by Steve Goodwin and Goodwin Boxing reposting our tweets. And obviously the operations manager at Goodwin Boxing, who actually granted us the media passes. So shout out to him as well. So yeah, I was just wrapping it up saying, it was a great event, a lot of great fights.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh, sorry, bro.
And like I said, when Goodwin Boxing, they're posting the ads of all the fighters, there's no reason why we can't message them maybe a day before the event and say, we'd love to get an interview with you afterwards if that's all right.
Yeah.